My father bought this farm in 1966. I've been up here for 40 years, either as a helper or a hindrance. I don't know which one you'd call it, but I have been here with him for 40 years. We run a stocker operation now. Used to be in a feedlot situation, so raised fat cattle and sold them to Valleydale Packers. Since they've no longer around, we went to strictly grass. We kind of figured out that grass is the best product we've got to sell right now in this part of Virginia. And this one particular set of cattle, our operation, we try to double crop the cattle. We put bigger cattle in the 1st of April, depending on the weather, and we'll run them up to July and sell them, and then let the grass maybe rest for 30 days during the hot month of August, and then come back in the 1st of September with a set of cattle that we'll keep. If weather doesn't get too bad and the grass holds on, we can keep them up to the 1st of December. So right here, this set of cattle is a set of the VQA Abingdon cattle. They came in here the middle of April. This set weighed 701. Right now, guessing a load of them's going to weigh 9 1/4, maybe 9 1/2. So the cattle, we've had a great spring. The cattle's done wonderful. Predominantly this year, we've got about 5 loads of the Abingdon VQA cattle, and they've really performed good for us. And main thing, no health problems. So that's kind of, you know, what you're looking at right here. Normally, very seldom buy anything under 600 pounds. We like something with a little age to it and some weight, typically, so we can put that 225 pounds on them and sell them in July. We just feel like, with me and my father, they're easier to handle. The health on them so much better. So normally that's what we buy. Me or my father one. We buy them all ourselves. Every now and then we will put some cattle out west, some plainer type cattle that don't go with our marketing program. You're always going to have those few that maybe don't do like they should, and depending on the situation, might feed a load of cattle in the west ourselves. We don't buy predominantly, colors don't bother us much. It all depends on what market you're targeting. You know, if we're wanting the Pennsylvania trade, the Ohio trade, you know, black-hided cattle's the way to go. This year we've got probably 5 loads of steers and 2 loads of heifers, and I even have a load of Holsteins. So we just kind of go with, buy what kind of cattle the grass suits. No, sir, we don't do that. Other than what we don't own, we rent and just do it on a per head basis, or rent the boundary as a whole. We like to rent the boundary for X number of dollars. That way, if I want to move the cattle in June, I'd move them. If I want to move them in September, October, I can move them. So we don't do the poundage put on. Not that it's a bad deal, but it just doesn't suit our way. We like to market our cattle, you know, when we think they're ready to go and when the market's ready. So we don't want to cheat the man as far as putting poundage on the cattle. So we go with strictly rent the whole boundary, or buy per head for the year basis. So that's the way we operate. Well, predominantly my health program, and that's one reason on these good VQA cattle, I'm giving them a big pitch, because these cattle was brought in and I rewormed them and turned them out. They've had all the shots. Got a few cattle that came off our graded sales. Those cattle, when they come in, they will get a black leg and worm them, an IBR, and turn them out. None of our cattle, we do no implants. I guess we're leaving a lot of money on the table, but a lot of the buyers really seem to like the no implants. Their idea is when they get them in the lots and they put the implants to them, that they'll really go ahead and perform very well for them. So we kind of take, you know, this stocker operation's a two-way street. You want the buyer to be happy, you want the cattle he gets to perform, and he'll be back and help you out. So we don't want to get it all, we want to leave a little bit for him. No supplemental feeds. These cattle here are getting some mineral with the fly fly insecticide in it. This is the first year we've tried it. It's working very well. Usually we'll get the cattle up and spray them. And a lot of it's on the different kinds of grass. I've got some other grasses across the river that we'll use some of these fescue protein blocks starting here in about another month, 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. So basically, like I said, we got grass to sell, and that's what we're depending on the cattle to perform on. These cattle right here, probably you're looking at 2 pounds a day up to now. Every bit of it might be 2 1/4. But you know, that's going to slack way off. I could have weighed them the first month and you're looking at probably 3 pounds a day. But normally we shoot for 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. This year with the grass here at this particular place, 2 pounds a day isn't unreasonable to expect. Sometimes you'll get more than that. Of course, the steers are going to put on more. The Holsteins, you know, we're not too concerned with them because the Holstein, I won't sell the Holsteins till up in September, October. So we turn out 7 weights. It's quite a bit of difference. I mean, you're probably looking at a good pound difference per day on the Holstein. I mean, you know. What we found out, these cattle here, weigh them the middle of July, and unless you're going to keep them till the end of October, these cattle's already done 85 to 90% of what they're going to do. So that's one reason we're coming up on the hot months in July, August, you know, these cattle's going to set and idle. So that's one reason we're marketing them now, and we'll let them come back in with some cattle later on in the year for a long haul. I hate to say this because this year's at 0. Last year it was 0. So we're on a road, so I don't want to jinx myself. But you know, the bigger kind of cattle that we are buying, you have very little sickness in them. We even buy very few cattle off the graded sales, usually off one of the Virginia tail auctions, one owner groups or put together groups. We know they cost more, but in the long run, I don't know if they cost any more or not for the health. So we've been very lucky health-wise, and the cattle spread out. Most of them's got good, you know, plenty of grass, good fresh water, and we try to make it. That's our program here, and so far it's working very well. Well, here again, my marketing program. Of course, a lot of you know me. These cattle will be sold through the Virginia tail auctions. We've done that for the last 3 or 4 years. We like the way that operates, and in any stocker operation, it doesn't matter how you're selling your cattle, you need to make a reputation for yourself, and that's what we try to do. So that's how we are merchandising our cattle. Weighed here, we've got a set of own scales, and of course we will bring them in and sort them and weigh them, and with a 2% shrink. Here again, if the cattle look like they're too full, we'll shrink them 3%. We try to, we want the buyer happier than as happy as we are. Oh yes sir, that's what you do. If you're in the stocker business, that's what you're shooting for. You want the same buyer coming back every year, and hopefully he don't get them that year, and next year you'll have 2 repeat buyers, which makes the market even that much sweeter. So yeah, the best thing can happen when the man calls you on the phone, won't know when you're going to sell your livestock. So that would be the only thing I would stress. Don't, as a stocker operator, realize that the man buying the cattle needs to make a living just like you, and you need to give him a product that he can make a living doing and selling when he gets done with it. Actually nothing. I guess we're bad operators. You know, we don't hedge any cattle, we don't forward contract any cattle. We're kind of, this year probably would have been a great thing to do. I guess I have a bad outlook on it, but when you buy them, it's a gamble, so why not play the whole gamble out? You know, my father, he'll have some futures to protect on some cattle, but very seldom ever. Every now and then might contract a load or 2 of cattle, forward contract them to an individual, but predominantly we just go with the market. It's been good to us so far. Well, I think the main thing, and it's whether you're a stocker operator or a cow-calf or a finisher, it's your input cost. I mean, you know, it just seems like it's a big business now. Used to, when the animals were costing $400 or $500, it wasn't near the business as now when one of these animals costs $1,000 going in. It's big business, and just your input cost, you know. And I think a lot of it is somebody getting started is have a marketing plan. I mean, when you buy something, before you ever buy it, figure out what you're going to do with it when it's ready to go. So, you know, that's what we try to do. We try to have a plan on, you know, how many cattle we need that's going to make that load, what quality of cattle, what kind of cattle, and that's what we buy towards. Ahead, look ahead, talk to you. Right here in this country, we are so blessed to have, you know, our extension agents, Phil Blevins, Scott Jesse, Andy Overbay. You know, anybody in this area wanting to get in the business or any advice, there's no three better people to advise them in this country. So that's just talk to them. They know a lot about it and they're willing to help you.